And welcome to another edition of Big Tech GH. My name is Sami Dona and it is Tech Focus 24. Now, on Tech Focus 24, we try to talk more about industry, technology industry or telecoms industry, policy issues more. We try to focus particularly on Big Tech GH. We try to focus more on policy issues. Now, the new thing that is happening in the telecoms industry is the move that NCA has made to then put out some guidelines. NCA has drafted some guidelines, what they call the draft guidelines for the management of network promotional messages. And this is very, very important. If you know, here on this channel, we ran some campaign. We did some strong campaign about airtime loot. We called it Stop the Airtime Loot. We ran that campaign on Tech Focus 24 on our website, and then some of my personal social media pages, and it worked very well to the point that NCA had to issue a directive to all telcos and their value-added service partners that they should not be sending on people to all kinds of subscriptions and stealing their airtime without the consent of the people. And they actually warned them that if they did that, there was going to be fined. Now, one of the major things that the NCA warned the telcos and the service providers to do, ask them to do to then protect us from this loot, is that they should do what they call the two-step verification. Two-step verification, where if they are going to send you on to any subscription, they will send you a message first for you to then say yes or no. If you say yes, then they will go on and sign you on. If you say no, it means you didn't request for it. But now what some of them are doing is that they're actually sending you the message even without you requesting, because the law says that they must wait for you to request before they send. Now they send you the message without you requesting, hoping that you will say yes. Even that we are trying to work against it. We are trying to run a campaign against that thing. We are hoping that the NCA will respond to our requests to make sure that they do not even send messages to people without a request. Now, NCA has introduced these new guidelines, which I think, in a way, is going to solve this problem of, they're not waiting for us to put in a request before sending us messages. Now, it is called the Draft Guidelines for the Management of Network Promotional Messages. What does it mean? It means telcos and their vast players or whoever goes to them to send bulk messages on their behalf cannot be sending you messages, without obeying these guidelines. And the guidelines are clear. There are a number of them. If you read them very well, they say that they cannot send us messages on weekends. There's a certain time frame within, I think, from 9 a.m. to like 1 p.m. Beyond that, they cannot send us any promotional messages. And then on weekdays, they have to send us messages once a week. And so if they choose Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday to send us messages between 8 and 4 p.m., for the rest of the weekend, they cannot send us any more messages. If anybody sends you a message on a Monday and they send you the message again on Tuesday, if you report them, they will be sanctioned. So these are some of the things. But they are so we will work through some of those details in subsequent presentations. But the ones I want to talk about most today are two main provisions in the guidelines. Now, Section 5 talks about the minimum standards for network promotional messages. Now, under Section 516, so subsection 516, it says service providers must streamline and categorize messages to enable consumers identify the name of the service provider and type of message being transmitted and the sender ID. Now, the next one, I want to combine these two. The next one, which is 5.1.7, says that service providers shall ensure that short codes are embedded in the transmission of network promotional messages. Now, this is very, very critical, because in my campaign against the airtime loot, A lot of people also raise the issue of how about the messages that we receive that is not necessarily signing us on to any subscription to steal our airtime. But then these are messages that we don't know where they are coming from, and they just fill up our inbox. And they keep coming and they keep coming every time they keep coming. Like they are advertising something to you, promoting something to you. All these adverts from Lotto, from banks, from all kinds of people, restaurants, insurance. We don't know how these people got our numbers, and they are sending us these messages. Now the law is clear now that from henceforth, anybody who is sending you any message, so if it is coming from MTN, and MTN, maybe an insurance company or some lottery company is using MTN platform, they must identify themselves. So if it is coming from Ghana Lotteries, or if it's coming from, let's say, Star Assurance, they must state there, this message is coming from Star Assurance. And then secondly, whatever short code they are using must also be stated. If it is 1234, if it is 4735, they must be stated. Because a lot of these messages we get, it looks as if the message is coming from the telco. It looks as if the message is coming from the MTN or Telecel or AT Ghana. But then it may be coming from another person. And then the message too seems like we don't really know the short code. So then if these messages come, we should be able to identify who is sending it and which short code they are using. It should be clear. So if it's coming from these people who steal they send us on to steal our airtime, they must state the name of the company, because most of those messages are not coming directly from the telcos. So the name of the company must be stated clearly. And then the short code they are using to must be stated clearly. That is very, very important. So that when we are filing reports against anybody who's trying to steal our airtime, we know which company we are targeting. That is one. Number two, the other one that is very important to me, for which I'm doing this video, and like I said, I will do other videos later on. The other one too is about mobile money. We have been receiving a lot of adverts on the mobile money channel. On MTN, it is 170, right? And then on the Airtel Tigo and AT Ghana and Telecel, it is 110. Very, very soon, very often when you receive messages on these channels, your thinking is that you have received some alert, like payment alert. Guys, we all know, and a lot of people have complained. I am on a platform where people complain directly to MTN, complain directly to Telecel and all this. Like, look, when we receive these messages coming from this particular channel, the mobile money channel or the Telecel cash channel or the AT money channel, our thinking is that this is like a payment alert, an alert that is telling us that we receive money. And so you jump at it with a certain vim. Then you go only to go and find out that the thing is an advert. Now, these things wake people's blood pressure up. Particularly when at that moment, that period, you are expecting some payment to come. You know what I'm talking about. You are expecting some payment, and all these adverts are coming through. And very often, the time they send this address to you is when maybe you have received some money, and so they see that, oh, some money has come into your wallet. Then all of a sudden, all kinds of adverts are coming to you as to how you can use the mobile money to do some transactions, on their platform. I mean, why? And obviously, as for these messages there, they come directly from the telcos. They don't come from any third party. They're coming from the telcos. But the law, the new guideline that is coming is very, very clear, which is what I love about this particular provision. Now, Section 5, again, it is under Section 5. Section 5.3.2, it says that service providers shall ensure that mobile money related messages are transmitted via registered sender name and are strictly transactional and devoid of any promotional messages. They are strictly transactional and devoid of any promotional messages. So, telcos are prohibited from sending us any promotional messages on the mobile money channel. If they want to send any promotional messages regarding mobile money, they should create another channel and send it. But they cannot be sent. It should be transactional. So it should be that I have paid some money and I'm receiving notification that this money has been debited from my wallet, or I've received some money and I'm receiving an alert that this money has been deposited into my wallet. Apart from that, they cannot be sending us any promotional messages using the mobile money channel 170 on MTN, 110 on AT Ghana and Telecel. Period. Because Charlie, the blood pressure, the anxiety they cause us by sending promotional messages through these channels is too much. And we've complained about it several times. Nothing is being done. Recently, I heard MTN said that they are working on something. They are working on it. To then help prevent some of these things from happening. Now there's a law coming, so the law should be an impetus for all of us to stop these things. So I've mentioned two very, very critical things. These things where they send us messages and we don't know where it's coming from. Now they are being forced to identify themselves and also to tell us which short code they are sending it from. And then secondly, the mobile money channels must only be used to send transactional messages and no more promotional messages. Guys, this is very good. It shows that at least NCA is listening to our campaigns, they're listening to our complaints, and they are doing something about it. Here is where we end another edition of Big Tech GH on Tech Focus 24. We'll come back to you again and tell you more about these guidelines and then what we can all do, because we are still at the consultation level. It is going to end on the 13th of September. So it means that you can also go to the NCA website, open the document, and then make your contribution.